Hi, my name is Yasu, and I live in Japan, and I do Hitorigoto in my channel, and it means talking to myself. It's talking to myself. So it's a Japanese word. So in my channel, I talk about my condition with not condition like how I have dealt with my depression treatment, sleep disorder, and my hormone issue. Like there was like I was suffering from low testosterone syndrome, and also I had a rare tumor around here that I removed that, but it was really the beginning of all of my health issues that I have had to really take care of in the last 3 years. And some of the contents are actually questions that are given to me by people who watch my videos. And today is actually me answering one of the questions that is given by my viewers. Yeah. So the question is, I'm starting to take Effexor recently. Is it okay for me to like do some light cardio, like doing a treadmill or like do some running or marathon? Not like it doesn't say marathon, but do some running and so on. So let me give you two um responses to these questions. One is what is given by my doctor when I was actually started to take in Effexor uh, at the early stage, and also another one is based on my situation, my conditions at the time. So the first one is please consult your doctor, because oftentimes when we are dealing with depressions and then let's say we are prescribed Effexor, the doctors checks are we are suffering from any other medical conditions, or are we also taking some kind of medications, and based on all of the informations that your doctor have, he or she makes informative decisions to make recommendations whether you might want to take Effexor or not. So based on that, your doctor can give you more precise recommendations for exercise as well. Because let's say you're dealing with depressions, doing the treatment by taking Effexor, but also if you're suffering from the sleep disorder, then probably you're taking some kind of sleeping pills. And if you're also dealing with some kind of other medical conditions, then you might be taking those other medications as well. And everything will be like affecting each other, and it's really hard to know your precise conditions and what's the recommended lifestyle that you're supposed to pursue at the moment. So please consult your doctor. In my case back then, I was dealing with my depressions. Try to just contain everything by taking Effexor, and also I was taking multiple sleeping pills to try to manage my sleep disorders. I was back then suffering from super low testosterone syndrome, so I was also doing the testosterone injection, which was hurting my liver actually. And at the moment, it was only like a few months after I finished my surgery and then I was hospitalized. All of the crazy situation was actually happening back then. But still, my doctor was actually recommended that if I ever feel like it, it's okay for me to do lighter exercise like walk around outside or like running a little bit, doing lighter like weightliftings and so on. That's what he recommended based on what I just described, things that I was going through back then. But so that's what my doctor told me. But in reality, nothing really happened. And nothing really happened mean is I didn't do any exercise because it's just too much going on with me. And I have no physical strength to actually even walk around or like do some running or hit the gym or anything like that. And even though Effexor was very effective even from the beginning, but I was still going through side effects, and then it took longer for my body to actually adjust and get used to everything. So there was a time that I was very stabilized, but there was a time that I felt a little bit down. It fluctuated a lot. And of course, the side effect is like a little bit nausea or like headache. Um, my head is heavy, no appetite. Here and then there, it happened, especially at the beginning stage. And because I just went through the surgery, so I had no physical strength to do any kind of even lighter exercise. So even my doctor recommended if I ever feel like doing some kind of lighter exercise, but I just never had I really couldn't do anything. So since you're taking Effexor, started to take an Effexor right now and asking the question if it's okay for you to do lighter exercise like running the treadmill and everything, that means you have strength in yourself, which is a good sign. So please consult your doctor, and then if he or she is okay, I recommend you to start doing the exercise a little bit. It would certainly make you feel better, but don't push yourself because um, especially when your body is just trying to get used to Effexor, all of the condition is very unstable. So yeah, if you feel like it, just do it. But you don't really have to make it routine or anything like that. And that's pretty much it. So in my case, it's quite unique because I was not only dealing with my depression with Effexor sleeping issues and also the testosterone issues. So if I remember when I started going back to my exercise, it was pretty much I think a year later since the first time that I took Effexor, which I was already on the highest dose of Effexor, pretty much stabilized, not much mood swing, and with the maximum dose of Effexor, my energy level was pretty sustainable. But I was still really suffering from the sleep disorder. Even I found the right combination of the sleeping pill, which is halcyon and then something else I forgot, which helped me to get some sleep, like 5 hours or a little bit 6 hours. And that's actually better back then because before I found the combination, my sleep was so messed up. I really couldn't sleep. It was really horrible. I spent months to figure out which combination could actually work on, and I was really giving up on everything because I just couldn't sleep. So luckily I found the combinations, but even that combination only gave me like 5 hours or 6 hours sleep. So then I started to exercise more, hoping that doing more exercise would actually make me feel tired so that I could sleep better with these sleeping pills. And looking back, it didn't work like that. So, and then as I get better, more intensive I become in terms of like exercise and everything, because now I do CrossFit twice a week, and also I do uh, work out, do the physical training with my personal trainer, and he pushes me harder and harder so that I can build up more muscle. So supposedly these things actually um, make me really tired, and supposedly it's supposed to make me fall asleep and everything, but um, it's not that simple, because um, when I deal with my sleep disorder, and also depression, something else is happening in my brain or anything like that. So simply pushing myself physically and then make it myself really tired wouldn't really get me any kind of results in terms of getting better sleeping and so on. So, but one thing, one thing that I have learned, and also I one thing that I got by engaging physical like training and everything consistently, was to get realizations that it takes time for my body to improve, get stronger. And then sometimes I thought I got better in terms of doing the CrossFit or lifting heavy weights. But like a month later or so on, when I was trying to lift the same weight or a little bit heavier one, or like I was trying to do the same training for the CrossFit, but there's a lot of times that I couldn't do it. So I had to just try it with lighter weights, or like time, my score for CrossFit, I got worst one, even though I thought I was getting better. And I feel bad. But a few weeks later, suddenly I lift the heaviest weights, or suddenly I can do much better performance for the CrossFit. And then that makes me realizations that it takes time for my body to change it, but it doesn't improve like this straight line. It can get better and it goes down, but sometimes it gets better, sometimes it's just doing okay. But from a long run's perspective, it shows improvement like the linear way. And then that realization helps me to see my battle with my depression and sleep disorders, and it helps me to become more, I think, patient, and also uh, helps me to create this psychological state that, oh, maybe I'm just having one of those bad days, maybe I'm just gonna suffer, or like I'm gonna be just kind of okay for a few days or a week or 2 weeks or so on. But afterwards, yeah, I will get better, because I had this experience with my physical training and also the CrossFit, and then so far the same pattern can be applicable for my depression treatment and also sleep disorder treatment. And I think that's a big takeaway, because when I was really at the initial stage of dealing with my depressions and then sleep disorders, I really thought that everything just gets better and better and better once it gets stabilized. I thought the hardest part is to find a way to stabilize everything, but that's not how it works. Even when once I reached a stabilized state for my depression and in this sleep disorder, there was a time that I felt not good. There was a time that my sleep quality was not that good, but there was a time that there was okay quality with my mental state or like sleep, and there was a time that I felt much better, and I slept really well. So it just fluctuates. And in terms of the mental health and the sleep, it's really hard to see, and it's really difficult to be okay with when things are not feeling good. And it got scared that, oh, am I relapsing? Or am I just going back to the worst time? But oftentimes that's not the case. It just simply fluctuates. And it took longer for me to realize that. Especially, I really didn't, I couldn't really articulate anything until I was really started engaging in this CrossFit and so on. So I think I'm now talking about completely different things, but if your doctor is okay that you do lighter training like running on the treadmill or walking around and everything, please do so. And then for those people who don't have sleep issues or who don't have depressions, please stay that way. Um, Nobody should get depression. Nobody should get sleep disorders. It's just a horrible things to go through. It's a like life and then death matter, and I really don't want anyone to go through that. So it's not easy to pursue life in a very stressful, complicated world right now. So, and then nothing is really worth if you're gonna risk your life. So, and then if you're gonna risk your health. So, your priority should be on your health, your life, and then there's a lot of stressful things and unexpected things can happen. So stay away from it. I know I sound it easy, but and it's not easy to do so, but please look after yourself. So thank you for watching. For now, じゃあね。バイバイ。